Hey guys! So last time I made a I hate video on a video game, it was pretty strange. So let's do it again! This time, I hate this Club Penguin Nintendo DS game. Wait, not this one! I loved Elite Penguin Force. Club Penguin, Herbert's Revenge is the DS game I cannot stand. Why am I still salty about an 8-year-old DS game? Well, let's start at the beginning. A good amount of years ago, we had a DSi, and I was playing Club Penguin online religiously. So when I heard there was gonna be a Club Penguin DS game, I knew I had to have it. Luckily, I found a used copy at GameStop for around $15. It didn't even have its original artwork. It had that weird GameStop artwork at the time, but I loved it. I remember 100%ing the game. Wish I still had that copy, cause after several years I got bored of it. And being a middle schooler with several issues, I randomly destroyed it for fun. Didn't even take a video. What was wrong with me? This is another copy I got off of eBay for $4. Anyway, before I destroyed it, I heard that Club Penguin was releasing a sequel to Elite Penguin Force called Herbert's Revenge. Herbert is a polar bear, and his character had been terrorizing Club Penguin, trying to destroy it. Technically, he succeeded twice. So I knew I had to get the new game. Cause Herbert was so hot. What? Did you hear something? This time, I decided to go all out for it. I saved up and bought it brand new at Best Buy for $30. And when I came home, popped it into the DSi and played it for several hours.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
But why? Well, let's compare the two games. P.S. This isn't my original copy. I destroyed it cause I hated it so much. At least at the time I made a video. Filmed using my MacBook and 3DS. What was wrong with me? This copy I also got off of eBay for $4. Anyways, the comparison. Let's start off with the meat of these two games. The missions. On the Club Penguin website, if you were a secret agent, you can play these cool point-and-click missions. It was pretty fun to solve them, and the best part was, they were free! You just had to become a secret agent to access them. So, in Elite Penguin Force for the Nintendo DS, the meat of the game is doing similar point-and-click secret agent missions. All 13 missions are original, and were made specifically for the Nintendo DS. They may have been kinda short, and some were too easy, but I didn't mind that much, as it was fun to be playing brand new secret agent missions on the go, without needing internet. And after you're done with the main missions, there's also 10 side quests you can do. A lot of them are pretty short, but it gives the game more variety. Now, in Herbert's Revenge, there's only 10 missions. Alright, not a big deal. But to me, there were only 4 missions. Why? Well, guess what? 6 out of the 10 missions in the game you can already play for free online. You all know since I played Club Penguin religiously back then, I already completed all of the available online missions. So I was bored throughout 60% of Herbert's Revenge because I already knew how to complete the missions. It's bullshit! I paid $30 for that?! The book that The Odd Ones Out has also does something similar. 8 out of the 13 chapters are also videos with the same subject that you can watch for free. But let's get back on topic. In the order that the missions are in, first, I played an original mission that's meant to act as a tutorial for the game's mechanics, and it tricks you to thinking you'll be playing all new missions. The next mission is where the BS starts. Apparently, to prepare me for my fight with Herbert, I have to play ports of missions from the Club Penguin website that involve Herbert. But there's some differences, like severely downgraded graphics. Also, there are several new ways to solve puzzles, where in the online version, there's almost only one way to solve puzzles. It's really pointless though. as most people who played the online versions are just going to solve the missions like how they did online. Also, some different ways to solve puzzles are just an excuse to lazily implement the elite puzzle mechanic, which was featured heavily in the first game. It's also pointless, because you can solve the ported missions without them. And some puzzles from the online versions are removed from the DS version for some reason. Plus, in Mission 7, they left dialogue in that was meant for a side quest in the online version. You can't help him, because in the online version, you're supposed to go to the gadget room, but it won't let you in this version, making the player wonder endlessly how to solve it. I should note that several other online mission side quests are ported over and they are completable, except for that one. But you get no reward for doing them, unlike the online versions. The final difference between the online and DS game missions is that Gary knew there had to be an original element in the ported missions or else people would riot. So he decided to hide snake tokens throughout the ported missions. To find all of them, you have to decode a message at the start of each mission for a hint to find out where they will be in the mission. What do you get if you find all 6 of them? A touchscreen version of Snake, symbolizing this DS game is just as fun as playing with a Nokia 3310. After playing through the 6 ported missions, you finally get to play new and original Herbert missions. All 3 of them. Missions 8 and 10 are alright, but there's this infuriating part in Mission 9, where you have to get your fellow agents to look for clues around the island. And to do that in each area, you have to play the laziest minigames and win, or else they won't search and you have to try again. Jetpack Guy has the easiest minigame, where you just have to tap the screen when the target is in the center. Dot has a minigame where you have to dress her up in the appropriate costume. Kinda reminds me of those Flash dress-up games. And Rookie, the retarded penguin, has this minigame based on luck, where you have to spin a spinner and have it land on a magnifying glass, or else you won't search. This makes me want to stab and choke him! Speaking of minigames, another major part of these DS games were the minigames. In Elite Penguin Force, there were 6 minigames. 3 out of the 6 are ported over from the Club Penguin website. Kart Surfer, Jetpack Adventure, and Ice Fishing. I don't mind that they are ports, because minigames are supposed to have replay value. Missions, on the other hand, are fun once, then you never want to play them again. Also, the ported minigames have a good amount of differences from the online versions. The new and original minigames are kinda simple. You have snowboarding, dance challenge, and snow trekker. In snowboarding, you have to trace lines to get points. In dance challenge, it's Simon, but with line drawing. And in snow trekker, you have to drive to the finish, switching between different modes for different terrain. If I had one complaint, to drive across water, you have to... In Herbert's Revenge, there's only 4 minigames, but they are all original, take longer to complete, way more complex, and have many different levels, unlike Elite Penguin Force's minigames. This should be a good thing, but when these minigames are implemented into the missions, they get old quickly. I forgot to mention that in both games, sometimes you have to play a minigame to progress the story. In Elite Penguin Force, I don't mind the minigame playing to progress the story, as they don't last too long, and each minigame is only used 1 to 3 times throughout the entire game. But in Herbert's Revenge, it gets old quick. Every time in a mission, even in the ported ones, if you have to dig for something or go underground, you have to play Jackhammer, which happens 5 times throughout all missions. Every time you have to walk through something maze-like, you have to play Amazing Maze, which happens 5 times throughout all missions. Every time you have to climb something, you have to play Grapple Gadget, which happens 5 times throughout all missions. And every time you have to stop the island from sinking, you have to play Aqua Rescue. It only happens once, near the end of the game, which is a shame, because it's my favorite minigame in Herbert's Revenge, because unlike the others, it's not a tedious collectathon. And I just realized there is a skip button for the mini-games in the missions. I'm idiotic. That would have saved me so much time, but it proves that the mini-games are too long and tedious if they added a skip button. I mean, Jesus Christ! In Mission 7, you have to play Amazing Maze 2 times. One literally right after the other. Is that a swastika? Suicide! Next up, both games have wireless features to play multiplayer and to connect to the internet. One multiplayer option in Elite Penguin Force, named Command Coach, allows you to play missions where only one player can see certain items, which he has to circle so the other player can find them. I don't have the needed 2 game cards to play this mode, so I don't know much about it. Also, if you have 2 to 4 game cards, you can compete together in snowboarding, jetpack adventure, or dance challenge. But if you only have 1 game card, you can do download play with 1 other person. But the only mini game you can play is dance challenge, where 1 player comes up with dance moves and the other player must copy them correctly. In Herbert's Revenge, the only multiplayer option is Command Coach for 2 players that have the cart. If you only have 1 cart, too bad. The only thing you can do is share a demo of Jackhammer. You can't play together. Man, a demo of a tedious collectathon will sure make other people want to buy the game. On online features, in Elite Penguin Force, you can transfer coins from the DS game to your online Penguin account, read a newsletter, take a poll, and even download another mission, making the game last longer. Too bad all these services don't work anymore, especially downloading the bonus mission. Because if you wipe the game data, or get a new copy of the game, you can't download the mission, unless someone who has a copy of the game with the mission downloaded shares it to you through the wireless function. Again, I regret destroying my first copy of Elite Penguin Force that had the mission downloaded on it. The mission was pretty fun, as your Elite Puffles white-face themselves, and you have to figure out which is which. In Herbert's Revenge, the only online feature it has is that you can transfer coins from the DS game to your online Penguin account. Great! What about the island in the DS games? In Elite Penguin Force, if you're not doing any missions, you are free to wander around the island, talk to several NPCs, and access minigames from there, making this DS game feel like a true mobile version of Club Penguin in 2008. Almost. You can even buy clothes and other items for your penguin with coins that you've earned, making you want to play more. The best part is, if you're playing on these dates, the island changes, adding holiday decorations. April Fools, Summer, Halloween, and Christmas. And there's even more missions, specific to each holiday. My favorite one is the Halloween one, where you have to guess who is who. And when each holiday is happening, you can find hidden clothing items around the island. Now in Herbert's Revenge, you can't even wander around the island for fun. You can only wander around the island if you're playing a mission. And even then, depending on the mission, you can only access certain parts of the island. There's also nothing you can spend your hard-earned coins on. The only thing you can do with them is a transfer to your online account. How wonderful! And I just discovered a glitch, where if I go into a level of Amazing Maze where I have a high score and quit without doing anything, it still gives me an amount of coins that matches my high score. I can keep on starting and quit without doing anything, and I still get that amount of coins somehow. Good programming! I think it's a one-time thing, cause when I reset the game and tried to recreate it, it wasn't possible. In conclusion, Club Penguin Elite Penguin Force was an awesome DS game with tons to do and tons of effort poured into it. I mean, just look at all the things it achieved. And its sequel, Herbert's Revenge, is a lazy cash grab that tried to write off the success of the first game. I tried to find out if this game had any achievements, but couldn't find anything.
Oh my goodness.
And yes, I know that I'm doing this video at a perfect time, since Club Penguin Island, another lazy cash grab, is shutting down after a year. So there's gonna be no more Club Penguin at all. Isn't it funny that this game came out in 2010 when Club Penguin was at its height of popularity? And after 2010, that's when the downfall of Club Penguin began. I like to think it's karma for making this game. I would destroy this copy too, but I already destroyed 2 other copies, so I think this one will make a nice memento of my experience with Club Penguin. And so with that, thank you guys for watching, comment, like, and subscribe, and waddle on. Bye! The worst transition from the first game to the second game is the redesign of Dot. In Herbert's Revenge, they gave her a "Can I speak to your manager?" haircut. Also, my favorite part of Elite Penguin Force is a fake credit sequence with characters from the game. It's so charming! Does anyone else think Gary is hot? Wait! I got to show you more evidence that Club Penguin worked harder on Elite Penguin Force than Herbert's Revenge. When you tap on certain items in both games, they play a small animation and sound, and they give you a coin. This is the lighthouse in Elite Penguin Force. And if I tap on all the instruments, coins come out and wait at the bottom for me to pick them up, as they should. And this is the lighthouse in Herbert's Revenge. If I tap on the piano, you can see the coin waits at the bottom like normal. But when tapping on the other instruments, the coins go way too low, and I can't get them. Great programming! I expected more from you, Gary.